Come on in, honey. The lantern's lit, the veil's a little thin, and the wind's been dying to carry a few secrets your way. Welcome to Raven's Ramblings, where the shadows walk beside us and the past never stays buried, and a good spell can speak louder than a sermon. I'm Raven Nightingale, part healer, part hellraiser, keeper of the old ways and ghost stories alike. So pull up a chair and listen close. You never know what might be whispering in the dark. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Raven's Ramblings. It's been a while, right? It has. I'm hoping I'm getting my shit back together. Fingers crossed. I'm working on it. So, today's episode feels personal. This one is not about any correspondences or perfect altars or moon water ratios. This one is about me. This is about dirt under your fingernails. This is about the witch who didn't know she was a witch yet. This is about growing up in the woods. So I did not grow up in a coven. I didn't grow up with a mentor. I grew up with trees and the woods and the wildlife. And honestly, they were better teachers than most people. So when I was little, the woods were the only place that felt safe. Yeah. The only place where I could breathe without bracing for something or watching my back. The air was different out there. Not metaphorically. It was physically different. It was damp. It was green. It was alive. No one told me that it was magical, but somehow I knew, just innately. I used to mix potions. I know, right? Using flowers and sticks and leaves and grass and water and sometimes eggs because, well, I grew up on a farm. So if I was feeling a little chaotic, I would do things like that. And I would stir them together in whatever container I could find, which honestly was usually an old plastic ice cream bucket from the 80s. I know. And I would whisper things into that. I didn't know what I was whispering. I just knew that I needed to say something. And honestly, looking back now, I do laugh a little. Not because it was silly. I mean, I guess in a way it was, but because it was instinctual. There were no books, no Pinterest boards, no aesthetic, no TikTok, no nothing. Just a country kid in the dirt trying to make sense of the world. So there was a cemetery near where I lived, and I spent a lot of time there too. Most of my family was buried there. And that probably sounds pretty dark and morbid to people, but for me, it didn't it didn't feel dark. It felt quiet and still and honest. And I would sit by my grandmother's grave and talk to her, or sometimes just sit or trace the letters on the stone like they were secret symbols. No one taught me about ancestry work, but I was doing it anyway without even knowing. And here's the thing about growing up in the woods, in the country. And I don't mean like the country cottage core, like in the country. Nature itself does not perform for you. It does not care if you're having a crisis. It does not soften itself to make you comfortable. It just is. The seasons turn whether you are ready or not. Things rot and bloom, and things survive storms, and some things don't. There's no pretending, okay? And when you grow up in that type of an environment, you learn very early that magic isn't sparkling. Magic is survival. Magic is paying attention. Magic is knowing when the air feels different before storm hits. I still do that. I stop outside if I'm getting out of my car or something and look at the clouds rolling in and smell that air. And you feel that. You feel that difference when a storm's coming. And I think a lot of us who grew up in wild places carry that energy into our practice. We don't need marble altars. We don't need the imported incense from across the world. We need dirt. We need something real to touch. We need quiet. The woods taught me how to sit with myself. They taught me how to listen. They've also taught me that being alone isn't the same as being abandoned. That particular one took me a long time to fully understand. It has taken me a very long time to be able to truly sit with myself and just enjoy my own company. Now, sometimes I wonder if the reason that I was drawn to witchcraft now, or 20 years ago, 20, 20 in the late 1900s, is because it felt a little bit like coming home. It didn't feel like a religion, or it didn't feel like I was getting on the train of a trend, you know? It's the same feeling that I had as a kid, crouched over a jar of muddy flower water, convinced I was doing something important, because I was. I was practicing. I was practicing imagination. I was practicing survival. So, if you grew up in the country or on a farm or anywhere that felt wild and untamed, you might understand this type of witchcraft. Okay. And that's part of why I call myself kind of a gray chaos witch, because it's my magic is not like anybody else's that I've come across. It's the kind that doesn't announce itself. It's the kind that looks like knowing which trees are climbable, or talking to animals like they understand you, or sitting in silence because the silence doesn't scare you. It's the kind that forms before you ever learn about the word witch. And there's just something feral about that, and I love it. It's not aggressive, just untethered. It's not polished, not curated. It's just real. And sometimes I think we spend so much time trying to refine our practice that we forget where it started. It started with curiosity, with dirt, with hands in the earth. So let's make today's spell a little bit simple. Go outside, touch something that doesn't need you to be impressive. Sit somewhere that doesn't care who you are. Remember who you were before you started performing. The witch who grew up in the woods is still there. She never left. She's just waiting for you to get quiet enough to hear her again. Yeah. Thank you for sitting with me today. And if this episode stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about your wild places, the fields, the backyards, the woods, those hidden corners that help raise you. Hopefully, the next episode won't take quite so long. I know. I'll get my life together one day. So stay grounded, stay curious, and let yourself be a little wild. Bye.